Lilibet's name wasn't the only reason that the Sussexes were causing headlines this week. Of course it wasn't. There was also a new book, not another Finding Freedom. This one is called The Bench. It's a children's book written by Meghan Markle. Let's hear again from Rebecca now. Rebecca, tell us about the inspiration for the book.
Well, when the book was first announced, it was revealed that it had been based on a poem written by Meghan for Harry to mark his first Father's Day for their son Archie. And it's about a father's relationship with his son seen through the eyes of a mother.
And what has the response been?
Well, I hate to say it, but it has attracted quite mixed reviews, including by some kind of, serious reviews in the Times and the Telegraph. They've said it's really quite trite. It's not really a children's book. It doesn't seem to be particularly directed at children, and it seems to be another kind of collection of sayings from Harry and Meghan, but this time with very, very pretty pictures. That said, I'm sure it will go on to be a bestseller. It's said to be topping some of the best-selling charts at the moment. So, I'm sure it will go on to be a success in some way, shape or form, but it's certainly not to critical acclaim.
Do you think this could be the start of a series of children's books from Meghan?
Well, it's certainly going to be the start of a literary career for Meghan. It's been made very clear by the Sussex camp that she has got her eye on more children's books and even wants to move into writing literature for adults. So I suspect we won't have to wait too long before we see another publishing venture by Meghan.
Well, I want to bring the panel back in now. Here she is, The Bench. I'm sure you've both read it.
Yes.
Richard, review?
Read it last night. Beautiful illustrations, very charming.
Oh, that's a bit of a faint, sort of undermining bit of praise.
But this might sound like jealousy, but I think if Meghan's getting paid by the word, she must be the best paid author in the world.
How much did she get paid?
I haven't got a clue, but you could certainly write all the words from the book on sort of the palm of your hand.
Look, it's about
short.
quality, not quantity, surely.
OK, well, if it's quality of words, I don't want to sound catty at all,
But you are sounding super catty right now.
The poetry, it's a bit weak. I think if it was your sort of GCSE English exam, the teacher might send it back and ask for, C- with a lot more effort needed. But no.
What's your view, Sarah? Do you think Meghan's got a future in children's writing?
I think it's a bit like Prince Edward, extremely dull. But I think that what is interesting about it is that it seems to be, it's not really a children's book at all. It's more of an instruction leaflet for Harry. It's just full of things going, you will do this, you will do this, you will do this.
Bench.
You will sit on it, and you will do this, and you will say this. I mean, it is. I don't know. The thing is, I can't imagine. I mean, I know that their children are very small, so perhaps they haven't quite sort of seen the full gamut of what little kids like to read. But in my experience, children like adventure. They like sort of monsters. They like a story. Predominantly, there's no story in this book. No. It's just a series of, you'll go to the shops, you'll have a hug, you'll cry, and it's just it's not a story. It's just it's a sort of slightly soupy set of sort of love instructions. It's definitely not for children.
Having one child myself, I struggle with that. I imagine if you're about 2-3 years old and you're getting to grips with words, it might be a nice little simple structure, but I don't know.
Also, if you're a bench fetishist, you will really enjoy it, because if you open it up on the...
There's a lot of benches.
There's a lot of pictures of benches, different benches. It's a very diverse bench book.
Yeah.
Don't you think there's something terribly patronising about just these sort of famous people who assume, it's so easy to knock out a children's book.
Yeah.
The good children's books, they're wonderful. They take so much creativity and effort, and they last.
And exactly, they're enduring. I mean, my goodness, I grew up with The Hungry Caterpillar.
Yes. And the author died recently, and that's a book that sticks with all of us.
I would say that it's the most difficult thing to do, write a good children's book. It's much harder than writing a good adult book. Genuinely, I think it's really properly hard to write a good children's book. This is not a children's book.
But what about...
It's also not very good.
How do you think it compares... Now, I must admit, I haven't read any of Sarah Ferguson's series of children's books. But how do you have any idea how it compares?
No, I haven't
There's
either.
There's a bit more plot in Sarah's.
I
right?
do have a couple of signed copies at home
Well,
of,
of course you do. Yeah.
books from Fergie, and no, they were great because essentially they were always fun. It was always a story, and particularly with Budgie the Little Helicopter.
That's what I was going to say. Birdie. I knew it was a
No,
bee.
Budgie
Yeah.
was turned into successful cartoons because essentially they were fun, and that's what children want. And this is very worthy, but it's a book maybe for an adult to buy and
it's
show
not.
how
It's
woke
not
they
fun.
are.
There's no fun in it. It's just a lecture on how you have to be kind to everyone all the time.
Well, come on, there's a lesson there for all of
I
us.
know.
Sarah.
It's like you can tell by Sarah's rolling her eyes at that. It's like boring. Well, maybe I don't know. The next one will be the bath,
Yeah.
the car,
The table.
I don't know.
know. Anyway, also, the Prince Harry character is not wearing the right uniform.
But
I hate
it's
to be
not.
picky.
It's not necessarily the Prince
He's dressed as
Harry.
an American soldier. He's not an American soldier.
I can see Richard getting angry about that already.
Deary me.
already.
Sorry.
But
It's nicely
yeah.
produced. Given that they've spent some money
Well,
on
it
it.
should be. It's
Yeah.
£13.
And it's going to sell like hotcakes, isn't it? Everybody wants the Duchess's first book.
Maybe.
It's
Well,
already.
you know,
it's
there's
already.
one sale right there.
It's already half price in Waterstones.
Well, I don't know. That's probably more to do with the high street footfall than
Okay.
it is. Anyway, that's all we have for you on our YouTube show. But to see the rest of this episode, including some more fascinating royal revelations, head to www.mailplus.co.uk/royals or click the link on screen now.